Well, it's getting cold outside. It's time to continue on the barn. You saw some of that earlier. This week we're trying to get the headers and the rafters on, and we got some unexpected help. Well, here we are in the barn, and if you remember watching the video Building Stall Row Part 2, I talked about I want wood on wood when I have very, very heavy loads. Now the load here on this header is going to be about 2,400 pounds for a 20 pound per square foot load on the roof. That's pretty heavy. So I've cut 3" into this beam, and then my header is 3 inches wide. And then I'll fasten it to there, and I've got 3 headers going across here, and then 3 headers in both of those other rows over there too. So it's heavy work. They're about 210 pounds a piece to put them up here. Well, as you know, we do everything by hand here. We don't have any big equipment, but we did rent some scaffolding, which is very helpful. Now we're going to cut these headers. These are oak, and they're not fully dry, so they're pretty heavy. They're around 210, maybe 220 when we cut them to length. I'm going to try to get a cargo strap on there, pull them up, get them on the deck, get them pre-drilled, and then all the bolts in place, and we're going to lift it up in place and set it on the post. That's the plan. Let's see if it works. I have no idea why we used ladders on that other shelter. This scaffolding is only 48 bucks a week to rent. For those of you who saw our video Out with the Old, In with the New, there was a point where I was cutting boards at an odd angle. Those are these top plates right here. You see the big headers, but there is a 3-inch top plate on top of that. The reason I did that is because that top plate has an angle that corresponds to a 3/12 pitch. Now, what you can do with that top plate is it's relatively flexible because it's only 3 inches wide. And so that orange string that's falling down right there, I just finished up and disconnected it. But I use that to have a perfectly straight line across 36 feet from the front of the back to the back of the barn. And so even if the posts are slightly out of line, which they are because it's tough to get them within 1/8 of an inch when they're 16 feet tall. But anyway, if they're slightly out of line or the headers are bowed, you can actually take the top plate, twist it, push it, crank it around, and make it laser straight across 36 feet. And that's what we do. And that gives us a consistent straight line to start our rafters on. So there you have it. Okay. All right, that's it. All 12 headers are up. We're ready for rafters.
Kyla, what are you doing? What are you building? What? Are you building a house? That's a lot of wood.
Well, here is our first rafter on the barn. We have 76 of these to go, so it might take a while. We'll get there. Well, we're finishing up for the day. The sun's going down. Just an overview of what we're doing here. I've got hurricane clips on both ends to prevent the uplift on the roof. The wedge cuts that I had before for the top plates, those are fitting nicely. These rafters are sitting right on top of them. Every rafter is cut and then painted on the end to slow down the drying on the end, because if it dries too quickly on the end, it'll split and check. Remember, we're not using totally dried lumber. It's still drying in place. So you want to prevent those checks on the end, and we just seal it with paint on the end. After that, the purlins go up, and we're moving right along here.
You know, we haven't been here very long, but it's times like this when the mission of the church really shines through. These people don't know us very well, but a group of people from our church just volunteered to come out and help us try to get the barn somewhat finished and give us a real jump start so that we can get our camper sheltered for winter. If any of you guys are watching this, please know that we're very grateful. Thank you very much for your time and service, and we will always remember you when we look at this barn.
So today we had to get the ridge beam up. So at 4 points along the length of this, we put this contraption looking thing here. Now initially I kind of made a mistake and made it too low. I had to raise it 6 inches, so I just took a 6-inch board and picked it up. But we put the ridge beam in here, we measured it from end to end, and then we actually had to shoot a laser because I drew a string first of all to keep it straight. But the string over 36 feet is a catenary. It's not straight. So when I first started working, I noticed that the ridge had a little bit of a bow in the middle. So I basically reset it with the laser to make sure that it was straight all the way across the top. And once it was straight, we started putting these rafters up. I've got 4 more rafters here on the end and 2 14-footers down there. And all the rafters will be in, and we'll start on the purlins. Well, those unexpected friends really helped out this week, and we got a lot done. I can't say enough for godly help and godly counsel. Proverbs says you should seek it, and they sure helped out in that category. In fact, they kept coming back for several other days.
Some of them were experienced builders, which helped you.
They really were. So,
well, we appreciate you watching again this week, and we encourage you to leave comments. We read every one of them. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. This project is coming along, and we've got many more to go after that. Have a good week and a Merry Christmas.